This sci-fi story begins with a woman named Nia, sitting in a lush green area alongside her friend. The two were deep in conversation, discussing alien civilizations and the possibility that intelligent life ruled over planets in the universe. Recently, scientists had even discovered such a planet, one that humans might be able to visit in the future. Suddenly, a group of soldiers appeared, seemingly intent on capturing Nia and her friend. It felt as though they had committed a major crime just by talking about aliens. Startled, Nia ran into the forest, escaping into the dense greenery, while her friend was captured. Nia then completely disappeared into the forest. Why were they being hunted down for simply discussing aliens? The answers would soon unfold. The scene then shifts to one of the alien planets where humans had started their research. Although it was classified as an alien world, no actual alien had yet been discovered. It was suspected they might be underground or had become invisible using advanced technology. The planet was filled with towering mountains and rich resources, resembling Earth in many ways. Even its atmosphere contained traces of oxygen. Amid this, we meet a man named Theo, who had been sent to this planet for research. He was excavating near the mountains when he discovered a raw diamond. This unprocessed diamond would later be refined into a real one. Theo worked for an organization whose spacecraft was orbiting the planet. He would regularly transmit reports to the orbiting ship and had just teleported the diamond up to them for processing. His role was simply to follow commands and complete his daily routine. Months had passed since Theo arrived. At first, he was excited about being on another planet, but that excitement gradually faded. There was no one he knew, no alien life to interact with, maybe no aliens at all. After completing his work each day, he would return to a small chamber where he slept. Hungry and alone, Theo would eat while watching old videos on a large screen. One of those videos showed a couple, Theo and his wife Mona, back when they were younger and enjoying life together on Earth. Mona had initially sent him regular messages, but recently, all communication had stopped. Theo now longed to finish the mission and return home to her. Watching those videos became his only escape. He'd imagine Mona in front of him, dancing together to music, trying to relive their past. His life had become completely repetitive, everything dictated by the command center. When to work, what to do, when to send samples, it was all controlled. Theo continued this routine, but mentally he was deteriorating. No amount of distraction could keep the loneliness away forever. He began experiencing strange visions. Mona calling to him through a window, beckoning him to return. These hallucinations shocked him deeply. His daily routine was predictable: wake up, send system reports to the server, collect samples, and repeat. It started to feel like he wasn't there to discover aliens, but rather to exploit the planet's resources. Theo had become just another cog in a giant machine. One morning, his alarm rang, signaling the start of another workday. As he got up, we saw a red device implanted in his chest, connected directly to the central server. It constantly transmitted information about his body to his organization. Theo had been feeling increasingly uneasy lately, almost as if something inside him was controlling his thoughts and actions. Frustrated, he decided to find out what the device implanted in his chest was really doing. The manual made it clear: it connected him directly to the central server room. This meant that the organization could monitor not only the commands being sent to him, but also how he was reacting to them. If Theo ever began having rebellious or critical thoughts about the organization, that information would be sent to them automatically. Disturbed by this revelation, Theo took a knife and painfully removed the device from his body. Alarms began blaring in his chamber, signaling a critical breach, but Theo didn't care. He had finally freed himself from the organization's control. With the device gone, his thoughts and actions would no longer be monitored. After this act of defiance, Theo resumed his mining duties as usual, collecting resources across the planet's rocky terrain. While working one day, he suddenly heard a strange sound coming from the sky. Looking up, he saw a spaceship descending rapidly. Its engine appeared damaged, and it was heading for a crash landing. Surprisingly, the landing was smoother than expected, as if the ship was equipped with highly advanced safety systems. Theo watched from behind the rocks, waiting to see who or what would emerge. To his shock, a woman stepped out of the spacecraft, without wearing an oxygen mask. Even though the planet's atmosphere wasn't fully breathable, she seemed to be doing just fine. Theo observed her closely, stunned by what he was seeing. The woman soon returned inside her ship, but Theo couldn't resist investigating. This was the first time he had seen another human on the planet in all these months. He assumed she was from another organization conducting research. He sneaked up to the underside of the spaceship and listened. To his horror, he overheard the woman in communication with someone, saying that humans must not be allowed on this planet. Anyone found would be eliminated. She had recently received intel that a human was already present and extracting resources. Theo. She made it clear he had to be taken out. Terrified, Theo quietly retreated back to his chamber, deeply shaken. Why did they want to kill him? He was just following orders, doing research. And if she was human, why was she siding with the aliens? His mind swirled with unanswered questions. Over the next few days, Theo kept a close eye on the ship and the mysterious woman, fearing she might find him. One night, while she was asleep, Theo sneaked into her chamber to investigate. He found a diary and took it with him, hoping it might contain some clues about her mission. In his own chamber, he flipped through the pages and found a photograph. It was the woman standing next to an alien. They looked close, perhaps even teammates. The diary was written in a language completely foreign to Theo. It didn't resemble any human language he had ever seen. It appeared to be advanced, likely known only to higher civilizations. Yet, from everything he pieced together, Theo finally learned the woman's identity. She was Nia, the same woman introduced at the beginning of this story. It turned out that Nia hadn't landed on the planet due to engine failure. Her arrival was intentional and tied to a secret mission. While Nia slept, she began experiencing vivid visions of her childhood. Moments when alien civilizations had surrounded her, choosing her for a special mission. Back then, she was still a civilian, but she agreed to go with them. Then came a tragic memory, armed soldiers aiming guns at the aliens. At Nia's command, they opened fire, killing them all. These traumatic memories haunted her every time she slept. Still, the true purpose of her mission and her connection with the aliens remained a mystery, one that was about to be revealed. Awakening from her visions, Nia stepped out to explore the planet, but returned within seconds. She was having difficulty breathing. While the planet did contain oxygen, it wasn't in large enough amounts for extended exposure. If she wanted to continue exploring, she'd need to wear a mask at all times. Nia was already dealing with mental fog, dreams, and hallucinations. The mission, which seemed simple at first, was proving to be anything but. She had to calculate every move carefully. Inside her chamber, we saw a small assistant AI robot that had been guiding her since her landing. During the time Theo had been spying, she was actually communicating with this AI. The robot had relayed protocol instructions, warning her that another human, Theo, was on the planet, collecting resources. According to mission protocol, she was to eliminate him. This was the conversation Theo had overheard, which had thrown him into panic. Later, Nia pulled out her diary and began updating it. The robot reminded her that it was time to eat, so she opened a drawer and took out some food. That's when it became clear. Nia suffered from severe memory loss. The diary was not just for notes. It was her way of remembering who she was and what she was doing. Nia often forgot even the smallest things. That same night, while she was asleep, she had actually sensed Theo's presence near her. She knew he had taken her diary but chose not to react. She stayed still because deep down, Nia didn't want to hurt Theo. He was just another human, sent here to conduct research like herself. The next morning, her small AI assistant robot informed her that she didn't need to kill Theo. According to its analysis, Theo was already a terminal cancer patient and likely didn't have long to live. In other words, it wasn't worth wasting energy on him. Nia still had no idea that her diary had been stolen. She assumed Theo was simply on his own research mission. As part of her assigned commands for the day, Nia suited up and headed out to collect samples, specifically raw diamonds from the mining zone. Coincidentally, Theo was also in the same area working. They spotted each other from a distance. Nia was a little nervous, but Theo didn't react much. He simply continued with his work, and so did Nia. Later that evening, when Nia returned to her chamber, she finally noticed that her diary was missing. The AI assistant, Robert, confirmed that Theo had likely taken it during the night, something she had ignored earlier. Alarmed, Nia rushed to Theo's chamber to retrieve it. When she arrived, Theo was trying to extract and decode the contents of the diary, struggling with the alien-like language it was written in. Hearing footsteps, he opened the door, only for Nia to suddenly lunge at him with a knife. She was furious. "Stay away from me," she shouted. "If you're here for research, do your job and leave. But if you interfere with my mission, I will kill you." She warned him to stay back. Now she was certain he was Nathan Flanagan. Earlier, when Nia had stepped into the alien fog, It had revealed the truth to her. Aliens were accessing human memories. Theo may have realized it too, but he was still in denial. He pushed Nia down and tried to attack her, but she hit him on the head and escaped. Gasping for air, she kept running. When Theo stepped out, the alien gas triggered another vision. He was at home, pulling out a knife and heading to Mona's room, only to find her with another man. It was something he had never accepted. Furious and lost in emotion, he now started chasing Nia again. Nia, on the run, reached a massive spaceship, one she'd never seen before. Not knowing whose ship it was, she still entered to hide. Inside, she discovered a prisoner who had died by suicide. His body was decayed and damaged. Soon, Theo arrived and tried to attack her, but Nia struck back and knocked him unconscious. She was still convinced that Theo was the soldier who killed her parents. But then, she noticed writings on the spaceship walls, exactly like the ones from her visions. Maybe she thought the dead prisoner had written them. Frustrated, she returned to her chamber and even destroyed her robot companion. It was becoming clear that she had been wrong. Theo might not be Nathan Flanagan after all. Realizing this, she rushed to rescue the now badly injured Theo. She told him everything, how she was searching for her parents' killer and how the organization wouldn't let her leave. At that moment, Theo gave her an idea. If you swap your tracking device with mine, the organization won't be able to trace me after I die. You'll be free. And that's exactly what they did. Theo, though near death, gave her a chance at freedom. Nia, now unburdened, set off on her mission to find the real killer and bring justice to her parents. And that's where our story ends.